Hey there, everybody. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? Another random live stream. See, you were sick of them. You're getting lonely for them, so here they are. Or I was getting lonely for them. Am I late? Yeah. It's not a science. Oh, I don't know. Hanging in there, I suppose. Are you going to keep doing these every night? I don't know. Maybe. As long as I'm feeling like crap, I will be. So, how was my Monday? It was mixed up. You guys are so nice. Well, there's Judah. Y'all get the notifications. It's been pretty cold. Not too bad, I guess. About the same. Still no snow. Yeah, Kathy. If only. Ultrasound on his liver. Well, hopefully it all works out there, Jennifer. Three in the morning in the UK. Wow, there's some hardcore people. Oh, hey, Shelly. Yeah, we got some snow on the ground that's hung around. We've only had 2 storms. The first one all melted, and then now this is a result of the last one. And it's been too cold to fully melt, but it feels like we have no snow. It's 8:10 p.m. right now. Oh, you got to be cool with your teens, Heather. Yeah, they love that word. Why do I prefer distilled water? Because it tastes better, and I know it's 100% just water and nothing else. I'm a water snob. Thank you, Deanne. Kids are all in bed, and so I thought if I do these lives, it's probably all going to be later like this, so I can have the kids in bed and get time to spend with them when I'm home. So, $800 ticket. That's all that climate change bills going around. Yeah, it helps to talk to people. Distilled water is water that's been evaporated. Only water evaporates. So they evaporate the water, then they catch it again. So it's only water and no contaminants or minerals or any kind of cleaners or anything. It's just pure water. Yeah, I thought about getting a water distiller many times. Is somebody saying Dad? Okay. We'll do it in a little bit, buddy. I got it, Judah. Thanks. Solly, you're supposed to be in bed, buddy. Go to bed. Night-night. You know, distilled water doesn't boil? It's true. Boiling is a result of impurities. You try to boil distilled water, it will not boil. 5-gallon lasts you all month? Pretty much. Tastes better to me. A gallon a day of water? Wow, that's nuts. I remember when that was a thing. They said you had to have a gallon a day, 4 cups of water a day. I think as long as you drink when you're thirsty, you're good. You got to be very careful if you try to do distilled water boiling tricks. Like if you microwave a cup of distilled water for like 3 minutes, it will get to boiling temperature, but it won't be boiling. And then if you put something in it, the second you put like a fork in it or anything in it, it introduces impurities, and it will instantly boil, and all those bubbles that were slowly coming up will come up all at one time, and it basically like explodes in your face. So you can get a face full of scalding hot water. So be very careful. Do it at a distance. It happens all the time. You can get really burned that way when people don't realize they're using distilled water and try to boil it. It doesn't boil. You go put something in it, and then it just explodes. Yeah, you got to use distilled water in those, Todd. I don't know. I guess I just do. Reverse osmosis is good, but it's still not even close to the purity of distilled. So distilled is the end goal of water. I'm sure it's because of the impurities thing. There's no doubt. Because if you have to fill those batteries on a regular basis, and if there's impurities in there, the water evaporates, you leave impurities, messes with the battery, or gunks it up. So I don't know how I find out about this stuff. I just don't forget things. We checked a P.O. box lately. Well, it's been closed. I went there twice to get the mail today, if you can believe that. Once to go mail something, and we were like, oh, shoot, it's closed. Martin Luther King Day. And then today on the way home, I thought, I better get the mail. Oh, yep, we're still closed. I'm dumb sometimes. Can you tell the difference in coffee? I think once you put anything into distilled water, it doesn't matter anymore. That was why there was a big craze for a long time that somehow distilled water was going to leach all your minerals out of you, because as soon as you drink it, it goes in the water, which is dumb. I saw an experiment once where for a while there, ionized water was a thing. So they had ionized water and alkaline water and pH positive water and negative water and all these different waters. And I saw a guy, this illustration once where a guy had a bunch of different cups of all the different brands of bottled water, all the different kinds. And then he took a blender and he put in a hamburger and a Coke and, bunch of stuff and just blended it all up and then put like a quarter of a cup in each bottle of water and said, which one's the best for you now? And it's pretty funny because that's what happens in your stomach pretty much. It all mixes with a bunch of crap anyway. So at least with distilled water, I know I'm not getting any sort of anything else. So oxygenated water. Yeah, that was another one. Oxygenated water. Electrolytes. Smart water is distilled. That's why I like smart water. Smart water, I guess, has got electrolytes in it. It's distilled, though. No, I don't drink soda. It's no reason for it. I just don't really like it. Ever since I was a kid, when you're a kid, you drink soda and it burns the back of your throat, and I just never got into it. So I'll drink a root beer once in a great while, but the world would like to have studied chemistry. Yeah, I love chemistry. I mean, I took it in high school. It was fun. I enjoy science in general. I didn't get good grades at it because I was the kind of kid that knew just how much I could do and still pass. And I was lazy. All I wanted to do was play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. So I would find a way to, I would do just the bare minimum of work to pass. I was a straight BC student. But I got straight A's in college. Graduated summa cum laude. Yeah, Nikki, I think that's pretty common, whatever your major is. No, I'm a root beer snob too. I think any kind of a liquid that I drink, I'm a snob about. So I like Henry Weinhardt's root beer. That's the best root beer known to man. In a pinch, I'll do with Barks or A&W. I couldn't do anything but those though. If you have some store brand root beer hanging around, I wouldn't drink it for all the tea in China. I got my bachelor's in information technology. I got some packages that are sitting right over here on my shelf, on my dresser, that we will do the next time we do a package video, which will probably be pretty soon. Have you made homemade root beer? No, I haven't, but I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't like it. So, what was your least favorite course in college? Ooh, in college? It was going to be some of the basic stuff. Maybe calculus too. I didn't enjoy doing that again. I like math. I enjoy their concepts. I'm fascinated with it, but I don't want to do a whole freaking page of problems. I have better things to do. So it's probably that. It wasn't until later that I really started liking history. I wish I had paid more attention. Yeah, calculus 2 isn't fun. Well, when you're going to college, you pay for it yourself. I had a trust for a while from my grandfather who paid part of it, but then I had to pay for myself, and it was $1,600 a course, which back in those days was a lot, and I didn't want to have to pay to take it again. Me and Andrew were very poor. As it was, it took me a long time to graduate because we took if you didn't take a class in 3 semesters, they would drop you, and so I had to take a class, and I couldn't have enough money to afford them that often. So I take a class, and I take 3 semesters off, and I take a class until I could afford and finally graduate. It took me forever, but I did finish. Mark Twain dinner, best you ever had. I'm always game for solid root beers to try. I'll definitely try them. Yeah, I went to a community college for a while when I was in California, and I transferred those credits. But yeah, that was much, much, much cheaper, obviously. What do we have for dinner? We did a leftover night. I was going to make sub sandwiches because Daddy makes really good sub bread, and that's something that is universally liked. It's one of the few universally liked dinners, and I was wanting to use my bread molds again. But then when I got here, I saw I had a whole bunch of leftover French toast, and we had leftover hamburgers and leftover waffle batter. So we had a leftover night. Thank you, Mrs. G. That took a lot of work to make. What are your goals for this year? I'm living day by day. Yearly goals isn't something I can do right now. Ooh, a sub recipe video. That might be fun. It takes a while to get it to rise. I'm not sure how I would do that. Maybe I can make 2 batches, let one rise, and yeah, I have to make 2 batches anyways. Make 1 batch beforehand, let it rise, and right when it's about risen, start a video, make a batch, and then just switch to the one that's risen. That might be fun. That might be a good idea. Still do Taco Tuesday and Pizza Thursday. How was your day? How are you doing emotionally today? I'm doing crap on a stick emotionally. Not that you can tell right now. Started the second bathroom project yet? No, but I have a guy who was supposed to call me, plumber. That's supposed to lay some of the groundwork. We have some major plumbing stuff we got to get done before I can do any bathroom stuff. So basically, our plumbing's got to get redone, which sounds terrible, but the way our house is set up, it's all in one spot. Just one vertical spot is all of our plumbing. So we need to. We only have one bathroom, so and we just have the kitchen that goes to it. So it's that needs to be redone. And he told me he was going to get back with me in January, and it's chucking on, and he hasn't got back with me. So yeah, that's Andrea's hair. Everybody likes to ask about that when I'm here, but it makes me happy. Oh, the trick was basically to put the camera off camera. So to put the camera above the pot and then move the other camera to where you couldn't see it. It was pretty fun. Have I gone to see her? Well, I can't see her. She's dead. But as far as talking to her, I talk to her all the time. You mean visit her grave? I haven't yet. She's not there. If she can see me there, she can see me here. That's my logic anyways. We will go, and it's important for the kids to go. Just because I feel that way doesn't mean they feel that way. But we haven't gone yet. Oh, thank you, Mama 4. Yep, Magic on Friday. So not all the Magic events are ones I want to go to, so I haven't been going every Friday. But this Friday will be the actual release day. Last Friday was a pre-release, which I had a lot of fun at. And this Friday should be a lot of fun, too. So that'll be nice to do. Vinny asked to go. Ooh, one trivia question. Sure, go for it. I'm sure Thomas will go, and Justus will probably go. Who would you choose to go to dinner with? A historical figure like past president? Like if they're dead people could be alive? I've never thought about a question like that. It's so fantastical and impossible that I don't allow myself to fantasize that way because it's not possible. But recently, last night I was talking about Isaac Newton and his book about eschatology, and I'd like to tell him where he was wrong. So maybe Isaac Newton. That might be fun. Has Eden wanted to go? She's still pretty young, and so Justus has been going, but normally we wouldn't have allowed him to go at this age. We would have waited until he was 13. But I think things are different now, and he needs daddy time, and so Eden's still pretty young. I think she would like to go play Magic, but I'll wait till she gets a little older. The guys down there can be a little foul-mouthed. Want to meet someone and tell them they're wrong? Yeah, that's pretty much it. The way I look at eschatology, I'm so much more logical, and he was so close. He was so close. He understood so much about it. And then he got wrapped up in his own time's news, like what we do today. Is Eden a girly girl? No, she's more leans tomboy. She's still a girly girl, but she's got tomboy tendencies too. She's a little bit in the middle. Oh, hey, Thomas. Must be an INTJ thing? Yeah, probably. I have 2 coins in my hand equal 15 cents, and one of them is not a dime. I feel like I've heard that before. And now I can't think about it. I know it's a trick. 2 coins equal 15 cents. One of them is not a dime. You're going to have to tell me because I'm not going to get it, but I know I've heard it before. One of them is not a dime. Oh, yeah. That's it. I knew that. Oh, yeah. YouTube to the rescue. That's like flipping a coin and say, heads I win, tails you lose. It's funny how our brain automatically runs with that. I know I've heard that before, but Eden did look cute with her necklace. She loves that necklace. She wears it every day. Well, I'm glad you like them. Yeah, it's pretty much bad all the time these days. But nothing I can do about it. What does your shirt say? That's just my business logo. It says Omega Computers. Who is it? Do you think mental health is important? I'm not sure about that question. It's not like I'm going to say no. Of course it's important. Girls have a locket necklace. Hey, Chad. We have a couple of people send lockets. Some of them have fallen apart already, to be fair. The kid-friendly lockets are a treasure. I actually, because of the people sending lockets, I decided that was a really good idea. So I had a laser-engraved pendant made that just has a picture laser-engraved on it of Andrea. That way the little girls cannot wreck it. Sometimes that happens. YouTube is crazy that way. Sometimes you got to unsub and then resub, or maybe you got to hit the bell. Just because you're subbed doesn't mean you have notifications on. You got to go to their channel and hit the bell. Oh, you do? Well, we'll check on it tomorrow. She's got a loose tooth. You girls, get back in bed. Yep. Been busy at work. You follow Jack Van Impe. Oh, boy. Well, let's just say I make an example out of him on my video. So I don't follow him, but I know where he's at. I use a couple of his lines to prove points on mine. Starting to get we get the regulars in the chat. You start to recognize everybody. Oh, did he? Well, that the quote that I use in my video is much more important if he's not alive, because he said he was dogmatic that he was going to be here when it happened. I guess he wasn't right. Oh, finishing 23. Oh boy. Thank you, Pam. Yes, Mama 4, if you let me know on Facebook, I could set something up with you. Oh, we always got time, but we get too Bible study-ish in these, and we lose a bunch of people because some people... I have nice atheists like MamFan, but there's other people that don't enjoy talking about Bible stuff on non-Bible nights. We always dabble in it, though. It always comes up. So if you got a couple of them, throw them out. Well, thank you, Minnie Mouse. I hope that's true. No plans to get another puppy right now. It's in the low 20s, I think, right now. Any dreams to travel to different states? I've always had dreams to travel. It's just always seemed inefficient to me. Meaning, I'd love to go see other places and travel and have fun, but it just seems like such a waste of money to do so. It would be great and nice and cool, but to just do it's a big ordeal, especially when you have a big family. Just taking the kids on a road trip can be very expensive. And if you fly, you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do so. And that money could be better spent on helping our family eat and live and do stuff. So it's been one of those things that would be very cool to do, to travel more, but just doesn't seem practical. Oh, the lamp idea on the wall? Well, you can thank Andrea for that. Andrea made me do those. Yeah, the New Year's tradition is really fun. And me and Andrea, we were fascinated by like how it is in Europe, and someone pointed out, I can't remember the place. It was like us going to Oklahoma is like going from the UK to Spain or something like that. They're like, you wouldn't just do that for a weekend, and it's funny that how different it is traveling in the U.S. where things are really big and far apart. Yeah, it's about average temperature for here. Which side of the bed with Andrea is this over here? The one I don't sleep on, or rather the one little girls sleep on when they come sneak in my bed pretty much every night. So I can't get too mad at them. It's nice to not have my bed lonely. Although they're really wiggly. Not too much snow, Susan. It snowed a couple months ago, and it's been hanging around that long. Oregon is bigger than Britain. See, that's the kind of stuff that I mean, I'm a, whatever you call it, dumb American who grew up in America, and I don't have any idea what the rest of the world's like. I'm ignorant and sad about the fact that I don't. I'd love to go to Italy sometime. Name 3 sets of servants in Matthew 22, Parable of the Wedding Feast. Oh, who are they in real life? I mean, that's all going to be subjective, right? I don't know. Why don't you tell me what you think? Because, I mean, you're probably going to want to say the ones who started first were what? The prophets? Or maybe Abraham? The ones that were last were the apostles? The prophets are maybe in the middle somewhere, is my guess. Ever been to Ohio? Nope. Never been there. I've been to very few places. Very few places. I saw it there. And then, man, Fan, you're so cool. You put up with everything. Yep, Maine and Wyoming are similar in a lot of ways. I think Maine gets a tad colder and more snow than Wyoming, though. First said it's prophets of old. Second, you don't know, more prophets. Third, disciples of the first century. I think that's pretty fair. That goes with Jesus's last will be first and the first will be last. I think that's probably the intended purpose of what he's getting at. Some fun speculation. Sometimes you fall asleep to our chats. Well, I'm glad I could bore you to sleep. If I jump into your Bible studies, which should I start from the beginning or just start Wednesday? Most of them are pretty self-contained. You can start whenever you want. If you want to catch up, you can catch up. It's not necessary. We did our Matthew 16. So the Matthew 10:1 and the Matthew 16:1 has some sort of controversial stuff I'm building up to. But I didn't lose Hollyhock, so heck. If I haven't lost her, maybe I haven't lost anybody. But maybe, you'll want to know where I stand on those things, probably. What, baby girl? What? I know you told me already. We'll look at it a little later, okay? You need to go to bed. Get back in bed. Man with no wedding garment. I don't think so. But that is an extremely difficult thing. He's already at the feast. So the guy's already at the wedding feast and doesn't have clothes. If you look at the clothes, represent righteousness in those days. That is just a big fat monkey wrench in everybody's view. So I'm very careful not to say what it is because I just got to raise my shoulders and not know what the heck he's talking about. Well, at least, Hollyhock, at least you haven't given up and you're hanging in there with me. I don't blame you. I don't blame you in the slightest. I would have called myself crazy. So I completely see where you're coming from. But just hang in there and I'll tell you what I believe. And you don't have to believe what I believe. And at least you can understand what I believe, maybe. I would be happy with that if you understand what I believe on it. Oh, I'm a big fan of I don't know, Chad. I'm a big fan of I don't know. I think there's a vast there's a vast portion of Scripture that answers must be I don't know because we don't have enough information. And to me, that makes the Bible more true. As soon as you come out Chuck Smith style and say to every man an answer, I think you're on dangerous ground. Somehow your Bible study always lines up with my church. That's awesome. Do we do the tooth fairy? We do. If I could stop them we have a little tooth fairy pillow Andrea made. We don't tell them it's a tooth fairy. We pretend. They know full well that mommy and daddy are the tooth fairy. But we just still do it. So the girls have gotten into a terrible, terrible habit of just throwing stuff they don't know where it goes in their room into the dirty laundry. So I end up washing stuffed animals and Legos, and I washed the tooth fairy pillow the other day, which made me very sad because Andrea made a very cute tooth fairy saying on it with a little pouch, and she had an iron on, so she ironed it onto the pillow, and it's pretty much all come off in the wash. And so that made me really sad. It's a parable we're meant to know by now. I disagree. I think the people to whom the parable was spoken, they knew what it was, probably. I think that was the point of it all. I don't think we are meant to know what they all are. In fact, there's some parables I think that we still don't know what they're talking about. But I think the people who it was supposed to be for, I think they understood it. And we can have some pretty good guesses. But I really like I don't know. I'm a big fan of I don't know in Scripture. In fact, I'll tell you I don't know more than I know most of the time. But that just means when you do know, you can take notes, as far as I'm concerned. You would like my pastor? Oh, yeah, maybe I would. Unsatisfactory? That's all right. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. What if you form an opinion, teach said opinion. There's something about a millstone around the neck, you know. I don't want to go off in the weeds on something that doesn't need to be in the weeds. So, like the Book of Jasher talks about the Book of Jasher. What's that? I don't know. Nobody knows what it is. There's a bunch of fun things like that. I don't think you could have everything in Revelation figured out either. Yep, this is Andrea's hair. Which doesn't smell like her. Might as well not be her hair. But it is her hair. They don't teach anything at all with that attitude. Oh, I disagree. Just because I don't teach things that aren't clear in Scripture, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be brave enough to say something that I can't verify from Scripture is correct. I just won't. Did you see the Bible is written for us today or not? No, it wasn't written for us today. Unless it says, Dear Hope Smith, this is what I want to tell you today. Now, that doesn't mean we can't get stuff out of it. That doesn't mean it's not for us today. But it wasn't written to us. So like sometimes it's very specific. If you're going to go from that angle, it says the book of Acts was written for Theophilus. So we shouldn't be reading his mail. Is that wreath hung by Andrea? Is there a wreath up somewhere? If there's a wreath hanging up, it's pretty much from Andrea. So. Yep, Chloe, exactly right. The kids really absorb so much of the Bible. It's amazingly impressive. Mills Family Snacks. I love it, Wendy. Yes, kids still enjoy arts and crafts. I've got a nice little activity box over here of all the stuff you guys have sent, coloring books and activity things and things to make. And every now and then when they're bored, I go have them pull something out of there. And wreath on the front door. No, she didn't hang that up. Well, there's always a wreath on there. She had a wreath for every season. And so we put one up in October. It's still got the fall one up. So I hung those up, but they got them out of the attic for her. For us, not to us. Problem with this world, people don't fear God and everything goes except for the Bible is such poo-poo away. Yeah, I think you're right, SLS Smith. That's exactly correct. The extreme example of that is that Bible code stuff. Remember the Bible code stuff at in the turn of the century, when the guy said that the Bible was so perfect that if you count every seventh word in the Hebrew, you can spell your own name and find out where God mentions you by name and wrote a special letter to you. And I just think that's just a whole bunch of bull hockey. But Dead Sea Scrolls, wonderful, very bad name. So it sounds like it's a couple scrolls, but it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parchments over many, many caves spanning all different eras. Biggest find of our life as far as a theological importance. Oh man, that's silly. I don't miss what you said, Hollyhock. I don't know what you're saying silly to. Too much delay. No, Debbie, I'm not talking to her. Oh, Monica Cliver. Well, I see by Chad's thing, I didn't see what you said, but I'm assuming you're talking about Revelation being written to us. But I would encourage you to look what it says on it. It says, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave his servants to show them the things which must shortly take place. And there are 7 churches mentioned by name that actually were real living churches at the time, none of which are still standing. So those letters were put into a little scroll, and they were delivered to those churches, and they read them. So I would say it was to them, and whether or not we can get anything out of it is something we can talk about another time, and I could give you some credit that that's possible, but it certainly wasn't written to us. Oh, no fighting, no fighting. Monica's a great person, and Chad's a good dude, too. I don't mind doing Bible study stuff. I'll always tell you guys what I think. You guys know that, and I will not force anybody to believe what I believe. I could easily be wrong. I don't think so. But I'm open to being wrong, and I love to be wrong because then I learn truth. Yeah, anxiety. Point taken. Point taken. I'm going to go deal with some little girls for a second. I don't think any of them bet like we should. Sorry about that. That was getting out of control. Oh, please. Did you do that again, Thomas? Good grief. Where do you think the ark that carried the Ten Commandments is at? I think God destroyed the crud out of that, and I don't think it ever should be found, or he would ever allow it to be found. There's a reason why we call it the Old Testament. There's a reason why God calls it that. There's a reason why God says they were unfaithful to their covenant, and they took it away from them. There's a reason why God said, I will make a new covenant, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of human hearts. If it were to be found, it would cause a giant problem for the world, because people would want to think it's holy and great and true and wonderful, but there's a reason. That was the seat of God. It was the throne of God. Now the place of God is in our hearts. He dwells with men, and he's not sitting on that ark somewhere. So, good question, though. I come up with that a lot with when I talk to Seventh-day Adventists. That's a fun question to talk to them about. That's one of the verses that I memorized in Greek. It's entolegin kenein, pepaliukenten protein, tove paliumenon ke graskon in gusafanismi. And that means by calling this covenant new, he has made the first one obsolete. And what is obsolete and outdated is about to vanish. Oh, yes, Stidham family, you're exactly right. I'm just going to say that whatever the 1,000 years is, it's in one paragraph of the Bible, and we make far too much out of it. I've heard all kinds of rumors, but they're all rumors. Well, thank you, Mama Four. If you speak any Greek, you'll know that my pronunciation is different than what you would be used to. I've learned what's called the Reconstructed Biblical Greek, taught by Randall Booth. So that's supposed to be the way Jesus would have said it in his day. It's first century Roman period Koine Greek. Many people in person that watch your videos, a few times. We've had people show up at the house more than once. We had someone, we went to Oklahoma a couple times. Kim come by and met some people. You prefer studying the Old and New Testament. The whole thing's important. If you got to stick with one, then you're going to stick with the New Testament. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure where the mental health keeps coming from. People keep asking strange questions like, do you think mental health is good? And I'm not sure why anybody would say, no, mental health is bad. And I keep having to come up. So I'm not sure what the point of all that is, but mental health is great. You should be mentally healthy. It's wonderful. Let's just put that all to rest. Shouldn't be buffering. Hopefully it's not buffering for everybody. Well, I do random question remind time that not everyone is not interested in the Bible talk. I understand that. It does come up sometimes. There's a few people buffering, so it might be my internet if that's the case. If you see it, you'll have to just hit either F5 on your keyboard or refresh. Might be on our end. I think Andrea would be surprised that you enjoy comfort and talking to this YouTube family. More of an introvert and really haven't talked openly with Andrea. No, I think she recognized even before she died that it was going to be useful to us. I think I've shared that in the video that she did two things she thought about getting rid of. The two things she's now most thankful for: the Samaritan Ministries and then the YouTube channel, because now they'll be there for me, is what she said. So most of the time you can push F5 on your keyboard. That's a shortcut from almost all major browsers to refresh, or hit the little arrow that looks like a circle. Ever been to Tennessee? Nope. I used to live in Texas. I used to live in Southern California, and I've traveled to Oklahoma. I went for a summer to Oregon, to Klamath Falls, where my grandparents' ranch was, and that might be the extent of the places I've been. Go to South Dakota, right across the border here, if that really counts, just to go shopping. It's on our end? Uh-oh. Yep, South Dakota is right across the border. It's just an hour away. I used to live in El Paso, if you consider that Texas or not. That's another problem. I like Oklahoma, Tom. Well, it's like taking a shower just being outside my car. Oh, we went to Kentucky to see the Creation Museum once. Oh, we've been to Colorado. We were there for Andreas for the hospital, so I guess I've been there. Sorry, Hollyhock. I think our internet hasn't been working super stellar lately. I apologize. Is there anything local to Wyoming that surprised you when you first moved here? Well, we have antelope. It's one of the only places in the country, I think, that you can see antelope. So that's kind of cool. Oh, hey, Brenda. Yep, I used to live in El Paso. We went to the Creation Museum when it first opened, so the Ark encounter wasn't there. Oh, thank you, Candy. That's awful kind. Buy something for yourself. That's super sweet. There are wild turkeys all over the place. That's super cool. They're actually pretty scary. They're very, very large. And if you we would feed them corn, and they'd peck it, and it would hit the concrete, and it would go thump, and it would shake the concrete just from the hitting it. And they're just super strong, and they decided to chase you. I guarantee you, I don't care how tough you are, you're probably going to run. Big old 100-pound bird running at you or something. What do you think were Andrea's very first symptoms? I mean, looking back, it's one of those things that, I mean, were they symptoms? I don't know. She had some back pain for quite a while, her whole life, but was that really it, a symptom? I don't know. It's hard to say. We worked at a small pizza place. It was called the $3.99 Pizza Company. They had large pizzas for $3.99, and every topping was $1. It was very cheap pizza. It was a lot of fun, and it was just wasn't a chain or anything. It was called More Pizza. It was in Montclair, California. Yeah, the prairie dogs. That was over by Devil's Tower. They tried to get rid of those prairie dogs over and over again, and they couldn't get rid of them. So they just put a sign up and called it a prairie dog town. Sorry, everybody. Maybe I'll need to log off here. I'm not sure why it's buffering so much. I wonder if I can change the delay or something. Probably can't change that now. Let me increase the delay. So I'm going to stop it, and then it'll come right back again. Well, should I do that? Might cause more people to leave. We're down to 413, so I think we are losing people. Sorry about that, guys. Slow mode just means the chat. That's just the chat. Happy racial day? I don't know. It's right there. Oh, thank you, Stephen. How's Grandma Fern? We have another video of her, but... Oh, yeah. We're dropping some frames here. Next time I'll increase the delay. That tends to help. I'm not sure. Our internet hasn't been working super awesome lately. Well, all slow mo does, it makes it where you can't talk twice in 15 seconds to try to slow things down a little bit. Restart it and clear the problems. So hopefully that makes everybody better again. I restarted it for a second, so I wanted to try to see if I can clear the problems. We are in Wyoming. We lost 100 people when I did that. Oh, man, even more. It's no big deal. I'm happy to have some people to talk to. It's clearer now? Well, that's good. I guess we'll see. Hair behind me is Andrea's hair. Didn't seem to help. Someone else says it's helping. I think our internet's not working super good. Hey, how's it going, Steve? You have a chance to watch that video? Kind of curious. You don't have to watch it yet, but good to see you, buddy. Yes, we did go to the Redwood Forest. What was the name of it? Oh man, now I can't think of it. Not the sequoias. It's yeah, we've been there. Is it sequoias? Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, there's a YouTube issue. That very well may be. I am getting messages that we're losing frames. I can't tell for sure where they're coming from. My processor speed is good and usage is good. Yeah, Redwood Forest, yeah. Mm-hmm. Good night, Alyssa. We had leftovers tonight. Just leftovers. Had some leftover French toast and hamburgers and... No, I definitely not 10. My fan would have kicked in. Temps seemed good. Convention's in Ardmore, where the convention's at. The one we go to, anyways. Yep, I was going to make sub sandwiches, but then I didn't. So... Gotta lower the bit rate. Hey Chad, how do you lower the bit rate on the fly in XSplit? Can you? It'd be awesome if you could. Let's see if I can find it. Don't see it. I'm sure there must be a place to do it. Oh, it's pretty much the same. I don't know where my life's going. I could do another one with my phone. It's I guarantee you it'd be better. It would be on, but everybody else still having trouble, or has it worked itself out? I haven't seen anything in chat in a while, so I wonder if we're totally down here.